Allah does not forget. But here, tunsa, yani you will be ignored. You will be neglected. And that is, yani, when you hear that from Rabbil Alameen. If you hear someone, yani, someone dear to you in this dunya, who tells you, you know what, just get out of my life. I gotta do my best to forget about you. You, yani, imagine your mother tells you that. Imagine your son tells you that. Imagine your friend tells you that. Your son. Father, I don't care about you. I'm trying to forget even that you exist. You go crazy. And yet you're still in a world where you can manage to get another son. You have a chance to talk them back and to convince them again. So imagine when the words come from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in a day that you cannot come back and try to change the situation, Allah tells you, you will be forgotten. Yeah, and we will not even pay attention. You don't deserve it. ذلك هو الخسران المبين. فدل ذلك على أن ذكره هو آياته التي أنزلها. ولهذا لو ذكر رجل الله سبحانه وتعالى دائما ليلا ونهارا مع غاية الزهد وعبده مجتهدا في عبادته ولم يكن متبعا لذكره الذي أنزله كان من أولياء الشيطان ولو طار في الهواء أو مشى على الماء فإن الشيطان يحمله في الهواء وهذا مبسوط في غير هذا الموضوع. So here the conclusion of this point, he tells you that this is the dhikr. The Quran, the deen of Allah is the dhikr. Just like that. And from this, who forgets the dhikr will forget what he forgot and neglect on the day of judgment. And he said, these are adilla that is dhikr is the deen of Allah. And if the person remember Allah days and nights with the highest level of asceticism, the highest level of abandoning the dunya for the Allah as he seen. And he worship him, Allah worship, he remembers Allah, he ignores everything for the sake of Allah, and he worships Allah at the highest levels and the best levels. And he was not following the guidance of Allah, and he was not doing all these things the way Allah wants him to do it according to the Quran and the Sunnah. كان من أولياء الشيطان. He'll be from the awliya of الشيطان. ولو طار في الهواء, even if he flies in the air. And you see him flying, not in the plane, flying on his own. ومشى على الماء, or walking on the water. Then he just, so simple, he nullified this argument. He said because the one who carries him in the air is the shaitan. Just like that. Don't you read in Surah in story in Surah Al-Naml, in the story of Sulaiman alayhi salam, about the throne of Balqis? Huh? How the jinn, one of the jinn said, I will bring him before you leave your gathering. And the other one who knows the ilm, he said, I'll bring you the throne before you blink, and the throne was right there. So they are creations of Allah, that Allah gave them that power. So it's not a surprise that the shaitan can carry a human being in front of the people to support and to invite to his misguidance. So don't be fooled. The Muslim and the believer has the principle to distinguish. So, summary of all what we said, we're going to look at the person. The person who's flying in the air. We're going to ask, how close is he to the Quran? They say, mashallah, he reads the Quran and he follows it. Then we ask, how close is he to the guidance of the Prophet, to the Sunnah of the Prophet? He said every time he hears about a Sunnah, he makes sure he puts it into practice as part of his life. We say this is karamah. That means that's honor from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we'll talk about why. Or someone walking on the water, how much is he close to the Quran? He doesn't even come to the masjid. And even if he gonna recite, he doesn't even know how to say Fatiha. But the Sunnah, he is one of the biggest enemies of the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. Wali of Ar-Rahman or Wali of Shaytaan? Wali of Shaytaan. That's walking on the water. Karama, from Allah, or deception from Shaytaan? Clear. So those are the only two questions you need to ask. Now let me tell you what is the difference, why Allah will give someone that power and Allah will give someone that power. He said, وَهَذَا مَبْسُوطٌ فِي غَيْرِ هَذَا الْمَوْضِعِ. Shaykh al-Islam in this book, he said, when he talks about even if he walks, it flies in the air and walks on the water, that still does not make him wali for Rahman because the shaitan is carrying him. Then he says after that, and this is explained in another place, in his writing, and perhaps it's mentioned in his fatawa. Shaykh al-Islam has a big collection of fatawa, depends on the printing, sometimes it reaches 30 plus volumes. But these are questions and asked. Okay, 37. These are questions and asked, but he says في غير هذا الموضع, perhaps in that موضع, and I was able to get one of those مواضع. He explains to you what is the difference between the karama and supernatural things that happen to other people. So first, as I said, to be a karama, to be considered karama and honor from Allah, the person has to have this condition we said. He has to be tightly holding and clinging to the deen of Allah, to the Quran and the Sunnah. Alright? وَلْيُعْلَمْ أَنَّهُ لَا يَلْزَمْ أَنْ يَكُونَ وَلِيَّ الرَّحْمَنِ مِمَّنْ يَأْتِي بِخَوَارِقِ الْعَادَاتِ. Also another thing, a person doesn't have to have a karama to be considered wali. Not every wali has karama, but every wali, every karama happens to a wali. We're going to go with the definition of al-karama, as we said, because usually al-awliya don't ask for al-karamat. Al-wali of Allah, he's worshipping Allah, following the sunnah. Why he needs to ask for karama? He doesn't. But yet you see it happen to great from amongst this ummah, from al-ulama and al-zuhal and al-ubbad. So usually the wali of Allah does not ask for karama. The wali of Shaytaan asks and begs and commits shirk and sacrifice. Maybe reaches a point where he has to sacrifice in the name of Shaytaan to get this power. Alright? Also, مقصود من الكرامة إظهار الحق. Why Allah gives someone karama? To prove that he's on the haqq. When someone he comes into a society where they're all into this magic and soothsayers and all this kadhib and dajjal, and he's inviting them to the way of Allah, they reject him. Like Ibrahim alayhi salam, when he came to his people, they were worshipping the sun and the moon, kawakib. They rejected him when he told them worship Allah. So he destroyed their idols. They throw him in the fire. Allah saved him from the fire. That's mu'jiza. So when a person comes to invite his people to that and they reject him, so Allah gives him support. So you reject this person, we're going to prove to you that he is on the haqq. So Allah gives him karama. Okay? Abu Muslim al-Khawalani in Yemen, one of the ulama of this ummah and one of the ubbad, when he stood against al-Aswad al-Inzi. Al-Aswad al-Inzi, a man who claimed prophethood after the Prophet, he said, I'm prophet. In the khilafah of Abu Bakr. So Abu Muslim al-Khawalani stood against him. So he decided to burn Abu Muslim al-Khawalani. So they lit a fire